Welcome everyone to the Epics of Irindal. This is session number 7, lucky number 7. Hopefully we can get a TPK today. No, I'm kidding.
Oh my.
Just started strong. No, I'm kidding. Last time, you all had started your adventuring day meeting up with Lucas and Aniela at the Flagrant Flocks. In your time while you waited for Aniela to arrive, you had engaged in some tarot card readings with Lucas, getting a variety of interesting readings from Lucas. Some good, some bad, some in between somewhere, but unclear as to how this would affect your time in the future, or whether or not this was all just fun and frivolous exchange of randomness rather than actual fortune telling. But once Aniela had arrived, you all were escorted down into the aqueducts of Mirstadt, the makeshift escape route that the Silver Sonnet had used routinely now to escort wrongly accused individuals out of the city to more prosperous locations and greener pastures, if you will. Once down in the aqueducts, after a very back and forth and strange route led by some of these strange symbols once again marked all across the various portions of the aqueducts, you all were ambushed by a strange group of aquatic fish creatures, humanoid fish creatures that claim themselves to be members of a group trying to capture some of these individuals, anyone they found down in these aqueducts. And after dispatching this first hunting party, you realized that this was the reasoning behind what was going on with these disappearances that you were sent here to research alongside Aniela. Upon following some of these blood trails, you were led back to an old maintenance sector of the aqueducts where you encountered the bulk of this strange cabal of fish people calling themselves the followers of the great crustacean. Upon a rather unorthodox entry point and not quite a full frontal assault, but definitely a more direct approach to entering this main chamber, battle was underway as you found one of the missing individuals, one of the caretakers for a pair of twins. You had found him sacrificed by these strange fish people down in the aqueducts after a very dangerous back and forth with these strange individuals, one of which seemed to have some sort of divine or divine-esque powers. You were able to overcome this trial and thankfully were able to find the two twins, at least. Their caretaker, their uncle, unfortunately was not so lucky. Aniela assured you all that a larger group of the Silver Sonnet would be back this way to try to clear out any remains now that they knew what was going on. But she made a point to collect up the children and get them out as quickly as possible. And that's where we find ourselves now, still in the aqueducts, now getting late into the afternoon, at least from what you can tell by your internal clocks. Getting late into the afternoon, possibly even into the early evening, as you attempt to head out one of the other exits of the city, taking these children to their intended destination. This time, can I get? I think T still said he was working on something, but if I could get either Trash or Floof to roll me just a straight D20.
Oh,
Floof?
yeah.
16. All right. That will become more pertinent later. But you watch as Aniela has the young boy by her hand as the young girl remains piggybacked on her muscular shoulders. She continue heading out of here, at least a little further away from wherever this is, and I would recommend that we perhaps take some time to rest. These children are not, at least not built for this, and it looks like you all could use some time to recuperate as well. And we can exchange at least a bit of time in watching while we recuperate. If that is all right with you.
Yes, that sounds like a great idea.
Sounds good to me.
I think we're all pretty beat up and tired.
Yes. Well, after a little over an hour's travel, once Aniela seems, and everyone seems to understand that perhaps the bulk of any danger is past, you come across one of these larger reservoir chambers. At this point, it's completely dry and empty, as it is not the rainy season. And she sets the young girl down against the masonry wall, the stone wall, and proceeds to fashion up at least a means of presenting some light for the group, and pulls some whatever scraps of wood and kindling she can find to make a little minimal makeshift fire for the time being. I'll take the first watch if you all would like to take... One of you would take the second half here, but I think we could all do with a rest for perhaps an hour or two.
I could take the second watch.
Okay.
Wake me up on my turn.
Approximately 30 minutes to 45 minutes passes without incident as Aniela sits watchfully staring at the two opposing entrances on either side of this atrium chamber. After approximately an hour, she comes to you, Trash. Just transitioning. I do need a bit of time to recover myself. If you can take the next watch, I would greatly appreciate it.
Of course.
But you all can take a short rest if you would like, and spend any hit dice if you would like. So you have, as level 3, you would have up to 3 of your hit dice, and it's the dice roll plus your Constitution modifier for every roll that you would get back. So if you roll your case, Floof, with that one, it would be a 6 plus your Constitution modifier you would get back for that one roll.
Okay, I'll go one more. Oh shit, I'm chilling out.
There you go. Oh, I'm sorry. It already adds those together. I was about to say, you have a D8 hit dice, so that means it's already adding the con modifier for the auto roll. So you with those 2 dice, you would get 16 back.
Okay.
Oh wow, I rolled terribly. Awesome.
I will also roll a hit dice.
Oh shoot, I didn't change the title. My bad. I just noticed that. Yeah. So. I has the dumb.
One plus heal.
And then once you're done rolling your hit dice, Crash, please give me a perception check.
Okay. Um, 15 plus perception, so 15.
15? Okay. You don't seem to see anything dangerous passing by. You feel with relative certainty that you at least are not seeing anything other than the occasional frog or lizard moving about, but nothing quite as dangerous as what you all encountered in the maintenance tunnels with these humanoid fish people. But you are able to take a short rest as well as Aniela as well. Just a moment to store your stuff. Yes. Oh, and T, thank you for that resub. I appreciate it. But with that short rest, Aniela, after a couple hours, you've had time to recover, to nurse your wounds, as well as take a breather as you recover from what you encountered here in the aqueducts. It's during this time that you see these two young children. The one is not more than 4 or 5 years old, while the young boy is slightly older at about 7 or 8. But these are two young children. And you see, while the little embers are flickering off the edge of the flames, you see the young boy is just passing his fingers back and forth through the flames. And you see them sort of follow along with his graceful movements against the flow of the air and the heat as it travels up off of this kindling in a very unnatural manner. But you see that, now that they have been removed from a more dangerous situation, you're beginning to see the more playful side of these two young children. As they recognize that Aniela is here. They recognize Aniela from back in the safe houses of the Sonnet in the Cirque de Hell's Keep, down in the other portions of the city, but also have become quite interested in the three of you, as they have not seen or encountered individuals such as ourselves down here or anywhere in the city itself. Crash, you notice that the young girl is staring very wide-eyed at you in particular, having never seen an individual quite like you.
I would say it's rude to stare, but I've gotten it all my life. So if you have any questions, let me know.
Okay. Can things go straight through you?
It's a very... You get the impression that it's a very... There's more curiosity. It's not intended to be rude, even though it could come across in such a way, but it's...
Like a kid-like kind
right. Not knowing when
curiosity.
Yeah. Like, children have no filter. This is kind of one of those situations.
Yeah. Yeah, and I understand that, so I say, yep, things could go right through. If I'm careful and I think really hard about it, and I choose to. Sometimes it's really nifty. I could use my body like extra storage, like this, and then I've been storing like this club in the middle of my body this whole time. I kind of like pull it out a bit. I'm like, look.
I love it. I love it. And then the young boy, once the fascination with the embers kind of subsides, you, Floof, see him kind of staring at your headdress a bit, the bear skin that hangs over the top of your head.
Is that real?
I will growl at the child.
He ducks behind Aniela, and she gives you kind of a scowling look.
It's real.
That's awesome. I've never seen a bear before.
They're big.
As big as you are?
Sometimes bigger.
Wow.
But there's a lot of this curious back and forth, and you begin to see the a bit of the immaturity of these children, but also the youthful optimism coming out despite this awful situation that they've been flung into. Not really understanding why or to what extent they are involved in this wider world and why they're having to go through this whole situation. But after a couple hours, Aniello looks at you all.
We should get going. We should, it's most definitely at this point will be likely nightfall when we exit. And, I'd rather not encounter anything outside the city walls or the city proper that would be, of a dangerous manner. We're expected to deliver these children to the same vessel that you all would likely be accompanying out of Mirstadt proper and the bays surrounding it. They have a trade route that heads along the southern coast, ending in a final destination of Callisto. But the children are expected to be dropped off a little ways before entering the final destination to another member of the Sonnet.
Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say that sounds like a plan.
All right. And she kind of gathers up her things and snuffs out the fire. Begins escorting you all through the remaining part of this excursion through the aqueducts in this kind of, again, roundabout manner, kind of ducking back and forth and doing so in a way that, to anyone who's never gone this route before, would think is just absolute. Like, you're at some points it feels like you're doubling back the way you came, before finally you begin to hear what sounds like the movement of air in addition to the sound of running water. A sound that you all have not heard until prior to entering these aqueducts. And you can now feel and smell, Floof, you begin to smell the scent of fresh air entering this otherwise dank and dingy sewer level of the city. And
Fresh air.
we're getting quite close now. And it takes you probably another 5 or 10 minutes of this straight shot down this large, approximately 10-foot wide tunnel before you exit and you see some iron bars at the end of this this exit. And you would assume, seeing these thick iron bars, that the larger of you especially would not be able to pass through, but Aniela, just continues to walk through as if they were going to walk straight into the bars, but passes straight through it without effort. And you see that, yet again, this is another one of these illusionary doors meant to deceive the average onlooker. Were they not specifically looking for such an exit or entrance to the aqueducts? And you all are escorted out through this illusionary passage. There's a bit of moonlight as you exit out into this kind of murky bog-like area that's kind of recessed down below a steep hillside. And Aniela kind of guides you up this hillside, taking care not to guide you anywhere near some of the more dangerous slip hazards of this space. But as you come to the crest of the hill, you can feel the cool evening breeze as you see the large bluish-white moon above your heads beginning to crest into... right now it's about 30 or 40% of the way to its apex, coming over the horizon. Not quite at its full moon, but enough that you have a bit of dim light in this otherwise pitch black area outside the city. But as you turn and look down from this crested hillside, you can see the lights and the heavy, bright lantern lights, as well as the magical lights of the docks several miles off on the opposite side of the city walls. And you can hear the crashing of waves as you are quite close now to the coast. And I will go ahead and bring up the map for you all so we can have kind of an interpretation of where you all are at. Right now, you all are about right at the bottom right-hand corner of the T of Mirstadt.
Okay.
Maybe about 3 or 4 miles outside the outer perimeter of the city. You see off in the distance, heading east and north and south, some little hamlet towns spread out through the surrounding area. What little you can see in the moonlight, or what is silhouetted by lights of their own, kind of like the countryside view. Some of you more familiar with these countryside views. Yourself, Floof, a little more familiar, having lived in the forested edge. As you come out the outer rims of the forest, you would see a similar view. Aniela looks at you all. We have a bit more travel to do, but we need to head down the coast, down to a place called Hector. And right as she begins to enunciate, there's a flash of blinding light. And a silverish, enveloping light stretching out like cones from two distinct sources about 30 feet away from you all. Floof, Trash, you feel magical energies that you are so familiar with, your natural gifts, either given to you by nature itself or those inherent to your physical form from birth, begin to be repressed within your forms, as this light is almost suffocating in a way to your magical breathing. That very essence that you feel as you cast spells seems to be suppressed deep down as this light is cast upon you. Trash, I need you to make a wisdom saving throw, please.
Wisdom save throw. 19.
19. Despite the fact that you recognize this light, and you feel this intense sense of fear and remembrance of what it brings with it. You're able to stomach and quell that fear, but it is not completely gone as you feel a sense of deja vu as this silvery white light is shined upon your group. And behind that white light, you see a trio of silhouettes. Two medium-sized individuals clad in silvery and blue robes, carrying various reliquaries or holy symbols across their chest. The third, a towering Goliath of a figure, stands. You hear this low breathing behind a mask. You recognize these lights. Trash.
Yeah.
These are the lantern lights of the Inquisition. As they shine upon your group, you see those of magical birth, by whatever means, are all to some degree affected by this light. And you hear a voice from behind these lantern lights. What are you all doing here? Explain yourselves.
Would I be unable to speak, or am I like...
No, you can speak. You just mechanically, you are in an anti-magic field right now.
Okay.
So all spells are non-functional.
Can I I'll try to, as subtly as I can, just kind of shift my hood on up to kind of obscure my face a little bit, and I am kind of just not hiding, but I'm not at the forefront of this conversation. I'm using my companions to give me comfort, so I'm standing just a little bit behind them.
Okay. Give me a stealth check, if you don't mind.
It's 12.
12? Now, you hear the voice say again. Don't be shy. Stay right where you are. You hear it. You hear this voice focusing directly on you, Trash. And you see, you hear the steps and the loud thud of the feet of this Goliath creature as it moves to kind of encircle you as these lights move slowly around to get a better grasp of the individuals in this strange group. I won't ask again. Who are you? And more importantly, why are you accompanying fugitives of the Empire? And you see the light of this person speaking, specifically targeting the two children that Aniela has tried to push behind her large form without much luck, unfortunately, as they cower behind her legs. Come on now. I don't have all evening. Why are you all escorting two fugitives? Who are you?
Mind your business. And I'll take like a defensive / attack kind of pose, like I'm ready to fight these guys.
Give me a wisdom saving throw, Floof.
Okay.
You hear the words, "Sit!" And you immediately fall prone in a prostrative stance as this word is shouted at you.
Can I just step in and just say, I'm so sorry, sir, for his subordinates. We're cell swords. We're just we're just a group of hired hands. We're not really sure what you mean by fugitives. We were just told to accompany this group. Could you please help us out with more information?
I'm afraid any information I have is confidential. Perhaps you should better understand who your clientele are. You see the lantern kind of fall down away, and you see these piercing, silvery blue eyes stare back at you from behind a hood. But those of you with dark vision would see... Moment here. You would see the face of a gray-skinned, elvish man with a reddish, fiery hair that extends back in a tight bun below this hood. You see the thin ears extending further than you've seen before. You would know that elves, particularly full-blooded elves, are quite rare in this day and age. And this individual is one of these full-blooded elves. Just a moment here. You also see a mixture of jewelry chained together from ear to navel, a number of piercings in the lower lip, as well as various markings and tattoos. But all of these sort of pale in comparison to the large burn scar you see almost extending to the center of the face on the left-hand side, as if something had heavily scarred this individual as they stare at you menacingly, as well as with certainty that something is amiss. Just a moment here.
Can I ask him what happened to his face?
Yeah, you're welcome to. That's none of your concern. And I will ask one last time before we escort you all to confinement. Why are you here escorting fugitives? These children are wanted by not only the church, but the empire as a whole. And you all kind of hear, as being a little bit closer, you hear the cracking of knuckles as Aniela begins to tense up her muscles around her large brass knuckles. At this point, Floof, you feel the commanding presence of the spell that was cast upon you beginning to fade slightly, as you are able to sit up ever so slightly.
My instincts are telling me to run and attack him. So if I'm able to do so, I would like to try. And I'm filled with rage. You can just see it in me.
Okay. Give me a d20 roll, or give me a dexterity check real quick. Just d20 plus your dex modifier.
That's a nat 20.
That's a nat. Oh shit! All right, yeah, you get the jump on
Let's
him. What
fucking
would you like to
go.
do?
You mad?
Let's fucking go!
I'd like to punch him in the gut and then grab him by his throat and try squeezing as hard as I can with the intention of ending his life.
Okay. Well, those are multiple actions, but if you would like to try to grapple them, I'm going to need an athletics check.
Okay.
$15. You go to grab the neck, and you, as you do, you lift up, and you do begin to lift this individual. But as you do so, you feel the hand of this elvish man clench down on your wrist. And you hear, give me just one moment. You begin to hear the utterances, once more. And I need you to make a wisdom saving throw.
Okay. Oh god. A 20 with and then a critical fail.
Oh no.
Against your will, you feel your body begin to tense up. Your muscles seize as your hand releases and this man is released before you are able to exert your will and your grip upon his throat. You are currently, right now, you are paralyzed.
All right. I will. I'm laying on the ground. If I can move my eyes, I'm looking at my party. Like.
And at this point,
Come on.
as the man falls down to the ground a few inches, well, I see where we stand. And he makes a motion for this large Goliath of a creature begin to move forward, as well as his companion. And you see this other individual has a feline characteristic to them. A silverish and gray fur covers across the face as thin slits of eyes stare at you all with intent. And I'm going to need initiative rolls from everyone.
Initiative.
One second. 2 more rolls. There we go. Oh, God. All right. As you all watch this initial assault take place, Trash, you are first to react. What would you like to do? We're going to play this kind of theater of the mind style. I don't have a battle map for this.
Yep, that's all right. So there were 3 individuals: the Goliath, the
Yeah.
elf that we were speaking with,
Yes.
and then a more feline companion.
Yes, you would recognize, based on your distance here, and now that the lights have begun to move, this individual is of Tabaxi descent.
Okay. I am. I'm not within melee range of any of these people, right? We were a fair.
No, you're about 20 foot back, but you are still in the cone of anti-magic coming from
Right.
these hooded lanterns.
Okay. I will just I will have my, seeing how this is all kind of going down anyway, I will take out my crossbow. It is magical, but I don't think it'll affect like.
No, not for this instance. It wouldn't have
Okay,
any.
okay.
It really wouldn't have an impact in this case anyway. It would just
Mhm.
function as a more powerful crossbow than your
Okay.
typical.
Perfect. So I'll take out the crossbow. And let's see. I'm most worried. I think of the elf knowing what kind of magic they possess. So I'm gonna target them.
Okay.
And okay. Uh 24?
24 absolutely hits. Even with the heavy armor that you see around these individuals, it's still able to pierce. Go ahead and roll for damage.
So that. Okay, nice. Okay, so that's 7 plus 4, so 11 damage.
11. Solid strike as the bolt sticks into the shoulder just between the plates and the chainmail that you see. I see. That's how we're going to do this, are we? I believe we were right. Is there anything else you would like to do?
I want to just back up. Not that I'm out of range, but I do want to back up because I don't want to be rushed by any of them. So I will back up and just maybe about 20-ish feet or so, and then is there any way I could kind of like find cover? Not really, right? Because we just exited the cave, and then we were confronted by these individuals, so there isn't really cover.
Yeah, there's not really any direct cover around here. You could step down the hillside, but you would need to make a either a dex or acrobatics or athletics check to keep from slipping down into the ravine.
Okay. No, I think I'll just back up about like 20 feet or so, keeping line of sight and just keeping my distance line of sight.
Okay.
And that's where I'll play it. Did I have Panda back? I guess it's a short rest. I didn't have time to work on him.
I don't think they ever went
It's like
away, unless you. I think they stay as long as you
unless
don't.
unless I pass out or something, or
right, unless you go unconscious, so that would just be a long rest. So yeah, they would still be here.
Okay. So I think Panda just moves after me, but otherwise, I'm done my turn, but I'll be my final thing is just yeah, we are what you thought, bitch. I just have to throw that in.
Is that all for you?
Yeah, and then
Okay.
Panda will go.
You watch as this elf grabs the arrow or the bolt tip that's still stuck in their shoulder with one hand while they grab, still holding the lantern out, but they grab with their fingertip and touch this holy symbol that you recognize as the emblem of Helion on their chest. And you watch as this white light extends out in all directions, 30 feet in all directions from them, as they envelop this area out, as they begin to utter these prayers, and this dim light is cast out in all directions, and you watch as their other hand slowly begins to pull the bolt out from their chest, and you watch there is a bit of blood that comes out from the wound, but it almost immediately begins to seal up as this white light surrounds and cauterizes the wound, and they drop it to the ground. I do believe you all are out of your league. And with that, I believe, give me 1 second. I can't recall if that's... Let's see. Okay, that was an action. Then they are going to... No, that's concentration. You watch now, Trash, after firing this bolt, just to your left, you watch as this spectral energy begins to take shape just off your left-hand shoulder, as a spectral blade begins to form out of nothing in this white light that's begun to surround you all. And just as it begins to complete its form, it comes down hard across your form to make a strike against you.
Do you have to roll an attack for that?
Yes. Unfortunately, it does... I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, okay. Well, I was just going to say that because I assume that Panda's just beside me, that he can, as a reaction, he can try to deflect the attack.
Well, unfortunately, they missed, so...
Oh, okay. Okay. Well,
Yeah.
you know.
They rolled a 4. They rolled a 4 with it's 11 total, so I don't think that would hit.
No.
Okay. But you watch as this blade materializes beside you and begins to try to take swipes at you. But with that, you watch as this white light begins to envelop the whole space. And now we are at Floof. I need another wisdom saving throw to shake off this paralysis, Floof.
Okay.
The 15, you are just barely able to shake it off. But that is the end of your turn in order to shake this off.
Fair.
But you were able to overcome the spell that had restricted your muscles. Or you are no longer paralyzed.
A roar of anger and frustration, with a hint of relief.
Now you watch as this elvish man calls to his companion, the tabaxi female woman beside him. Serena! Restrain them! And you watch as this tabaxi stretches out her hands, and I need Trash and I need Floof, since you were the two initial assaulting individuals. I need you to make wisdom saving throws, please.
Okay.
All right.
18.
You are both able to shrug it off as you feel that same sort of muscle tensing magic flow through you, but this time you're prepared, having seen it once before, and you're able to shake it off. Damn it, Serena. I thought you practiced what we were taught. I'm sorry, sir. I'm sorry. I will do better next time. See that you do. But with that, Dazes, you are up.
These fools ain't got none on us. Now watch me miss all my rolls.
I was going to say, talk your shit, and then I was like, wait.
Okay, so the light, the anti-magic field is still coming from the lantern.
Yeah, there's 2 lanterns that they're holding.
Mhm.
One is in the hands of the elvish man, and the other is in the hands of the tabaxi individual. And then the larger golem-like creature, this huge entity, or I'm not sorry, huge, but large creature for mechanical sense. This creature is like 8 feet tall, covered in heavy plate armor, and is lumbering towards you all. But I would say they're all about between 20 and 30 feet away from you.
Can I... Let me see. Can I... Oh, there... Okay. What's the range on the lantern? A 20 feet cone?
The range on what? I'm sorry?
On the lantern? Is it a 20-foot cone?
It's a 60-foot cone.
Oh, 60. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Can I attempt to, I guess, specifically target the lantern?
Yeah, you can target the lantern. Which one in particular are you going after?
hmm. I don't know. I guess the one from, I don't know, one from the tabaxi maybe.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead and... Are you making a ranged attack? Or are you running up to melee? What are you doing?
I'm probably gonna. Well, actually, I wonder if. I'll probably run up to attempt to melee.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead and...
With the intent to, I guess, destroy the lantern,
Okay.
if possible.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, go ahead and give me some attack rolls here.
Alright, I'll just. Quarterstaff, I guess.
Okay.
Let's do the one-handed one. Oh, that's no good.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's nowhere near. You see the tabaxi is able to side swipe as you come up with the end of the quarterstaff and step away slowly, and then bring the lantern back down to cast the light upon you once more.
Okay, but I'm going ham on this lantern. I'll use a key point to do two unarmed strike with flurry of blows.
Okay.
So let's see, let's go. Well, that went pretty well. Nat 20.
That is definitely going to hit, yeah. Go ahead and... so you're going to roll the dice and double them. Or you can just... Yeah, I think there's an option in the Beyond... Or, yeah, roll 20... Or not roll 20. D&D Beyond to roll critical damage.
Yeah, let's see. Oh, here it is. It's right here. Crit damage.
You strike hard against this lantern, and you bash it in fairly hard, and you do a decent amount of damage, but the lens that's reflecting the light is still beginning to shine, but you see it kind of flicker as you make this hard strike. It is just hanging on by a thread as you strike it.
Oh, great, because I can make... The flurry of blows is 2 strikes, so
Okay.
I can do one more. Hopefully I'll hit it.
The 21, yeah, that hits as well. Go ahead and roll for damage.
Damage.
With an 8, your second strike comes down hard, and you watch as this light fades in a flash as this glass is shattered in the hands of this feline woman, and she drops the lantern, the remains of it, and the light is cast away. Aniela, you and Floof, you are no longer in the cone of this individual. Trash,
Okay.
you are still being shined on by the elvish man.
Okay.
Is there anything else you'd like to do, Dazes?
I do not think so. Yeah, I think that's gonna be my turn.
All right. With that, you see this hulking form of this giant armored individual begin to run towards you. Having seen this lantern go down, you see it come down hard on you with 2 fist strikes, Dazes.
Come at me. Just miss, please.
The first one is a 27 to hit.
Oh.
That's definitely not a miss.
Oh god.
Oh my.
The second one is a 21 to hit.
Yeah, both of those are gonna hit.
Okay. For a total of 19 bludgeoning damage as 2 large metallic fists
Oh
come
my
down
God.
hard upon your form. You are able to keep yourself upright, but the blows are almost deafening as you feel the ringing, the warm pain as your muscles tense up to try to deflect the strikes.
Yeah, just a cool 1 HP left, no big deal.
Oh my god.
Got some big fists.
This is a large size mechanically. For mechanical terms, this is a large creature.
Mm-hmm.
But with that, Aniela sees what's going on, and she urges the children to step back. She clamps the two brass knuckles together once more, and you see that electrical charge sail out in all directions and strike this mechanical form. She's going to make a couple blows against this guardian to try to put distance between you and this creature, Dazes. One of which is going to hit.
Nice.
Not great on damage as she comes down, striking, and you feel this electrical charge beat down into the shoulder pauldrons of this creature. She hits it hard enough to even press it down into the soft soil below its feet. This is a stout creature and a dangerous implement, as you are quite familiar, Trash, as Inquisitors are often accompanied by one of these large golem-like entities as a form of protection as they hunt the individuals begin attempting to flee or fight against them.
Mm-hmm.
But as this is happening, you see Aniela and you see the fear in her eyes as she attempts to try to push this creature down and do some damage very unsuccessfully. She looks at you all and looks at the children. You need to run! Run now! And as you hear the word run, about 60 feet behind the individuals, the elvish man and the tabaxi in front of you, as well as the guardian, you begin to see this pea-sized speck of light, this bluish, soft light begin to emanate in the darkness, far beyond even your dark vision would be able to delineate what this is. This tiny speck of light, and you hear this just ever so softly, Dazes, this incantation being muttered in a distant voice. But this small speck of light flies out from the darkness and strikes the remaining lantern. And you hear this of energy as it spreads out from this exploding lantern, as this speckle of light strikes it with purpose and precision. You hear, again, another familiar voice in the distance, crying out to you all. Run! Run, you all! Run! As you hear the voice of Enrique calling to you all from a distance, as you hear the and you hear this almost humming singing coming from a blade that cries out as it comes out of that cane that you all had delivered to him. That speck of light coming from the lunarium crystal at the end of this now exposed, beautifully exquisite rapier. And you watch as he darts with an elegant movement towards you all, far more than any normal human individual should be moving, as he runs up and puts himself in between you, Dazes, and the guardian creature in front of you, pushing you down and away. Run, you all! Run! Run, you fools! As he makes some strikes against this guardian. Both of them hitting.
Nice.
You watch as this blade comes up from below his waist with such an elegant grace as it reflects the ever so soft moonlight, now one of the few sources of light emanating other than that of the elvish man. As the blade, you hear it almost humming and singing as it travels up from his waist up into the air, and as it does so, you see the left arm of this creature fall from its large hulking form and strike the ground, completely severed from the creature. Run, you fools!
What about you?
We will handle this. Get out of here! You have no idea what you're doing in this case. Please leave! Take the children with you!
Alright, he said run enough time. I'm game. I'm out.
Oh, I'm fine with that.
But
I
we
don't
are
run.
back at the top of the order. And we're going to transition. We're going to keep the initiative order, but this is now a skill challenge. So, you all need 4 successes to escape. And 2 failures, and you will have failed your escape from the Inquisition. So starting with Trash, what would you like to do to facilitate this escape?
I used all my spells in the other fight. Ugh.
You did... Oh, well, that's right. You took a short rest, but you didn't...
It was a short rest. It wasn't a
Right.
long one. Dang. Yeah, what can I do? What can I do? I'm trying to like look in my satchel to see if I have anything that can help us. Damn it, I got nothing. I'm just going to... What can I do to assist? I'm like panicking. Is there anything... Are we trying to run maybe like down the hill or...
Based on what Aniela had told you all of where you were headed, you got the impression that you needed to head south along the coast.
Okay. Along the coast there. I don't think I have anything that can like really make a difference, and it's just a pure skill check, right? At this point, there's not
Right.
really. Yeah, I can't use any of my spells, and I can't.
There's no longer
I
any
don't-
anti-magic fields, so if you do have spell slots, you can use them.
I can't use. I don't have any spell slots,
Gotcha.
unfortunately. I guess I could use my cantrip, but it's just an acid splash. I don't know if that would be a huge help at this point.
Depends on how you use it.
I'll try. I mean, it's literally the only thing I have at this point. Like, I can try to get off another crossbow shot or something. Just something to, I guess, deter them from following us before I start dashing.
Okay.
Um,
Who are you targeting specifically?
who looks like they're the closest to, like, well, I guess this is kind of hard to say, but in terms of the closest to me, or I guess the children?
Well, closest to the children would be the Guardian, as it just...
Okay.
Yeah, because Aniela and Dazes were between the Guardian and the children.
Okay.
Closest to you would be the Elvish man.
I guess I'll just try to... Yeah, because if I do my acid splash, all that would do is really... I have to see, do I have to roll for it? Oh, they just do a save against it. This guy would probably just easily save against the spell DC. Yeah, I'm just gonna try to get another crossbow shot in, like just aiming at...
Well, your acid splash is... I mean, it depends on what the spell save DC is, and, or what type of save it's targeting.
True, yeah. I can try. I can try doing an acid splash.
Against the...
Against the... Is there could I do it, because it's a 60 feet, so...
Yeah, you would have plenty of room to shoot it.
Okay.
Yeah, you're well within 60 feet.
The Tabaxi was not close. They're not within 5 feet of the elven guy, right?
No, they're about 20 foot apart at this point.
Okay. Yeah, I'll just try hitting the elven guy.
Okay, yeah, go ahead and show me the acid splash. Or is it a saving throw?
Yeah, I think it says choose a creature you see within range, and succeed on a dex saving throw.
Dex, okay. If they miss this, then we'll call this one success.
Okay.
And they very much missed it, so that is one success. As you watch as the acid sprays out from your hand, covering over their face. Ah! Covering up their eyes as they go to pull away the acid. Go ahead and roll for damage.
Okay. Not much, but it is 1d6. It's a 2.
2. Hey, every little bit helps, and you did manage to blind the man as the acid splashes across their face and upper chest area. Ah! Damn it! That's
Just
one.
try to even out your face.
It's one success. Floof, you are up. What would you like to do?
I'll like to vocalize my unwillingness to run. I don't think that's in my nature. I do see, obviously, Dazes pretty injured. So what I'd really like to do is cast a healing spirit on his location.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah, let's see. How will we play this? I'm going to say since you're spending resources in this case, and fairly high-level ones for you right now, we'll go ahead and call this a success by default. So go
Okay.
ahead and roll the healing spirit for your companion. Or the healing.
okay.
Okay, so you get 4 hit points back, Aziz.
Let's go.
Boys.
Is there anything else you'd like to do, Floof?
No. I'm realizing now that I could have did Healing Spirit as a bonus action, but I already used it, so I'm
Well, it is a
I'll hold my
bonus action,
ground.
I believe. Healing.
Yeah, it is.
But you still have your action, so if you wanted to
okay,
try to
so-
go for 2 things, you're welcome to try.
Okay.
'Cause you need 4 successes. You have 2 currently.
All right. I want to protect and possibly grab the children if we do end up leaving. So, I'll run over and pick up both the children.
Okay.
and
Give
try and
me,
carry 'em.
yeah, give me an athletics check to see if you can scoop them up in your arms to begin, kind of linebackering them away from danger. 7. Unfortunately, you do pick the children up, but you almost topple over because you're, you had just cast this spell and you lose your footing in the mud. That is 1 failure.
And that'll be it for me.
Okay. But you are moving away with the children. Aziz, we're up to you.
Okay, so that's 2 successes and 1 failure? Or
You need 4 successes before 2 failures.
okay. How many successes did we have? 1 or 2?
You have 2 currently. You have 2 successes and 1 failure.
Okay. All right. Well, I saw what Trash did, and I know I can do that too. So I think I'm gonna take that note, but instead of, I guess I'll target the big thing that's right in front of me still.
Okay.
But maybe instead of targeting its, well, I mean, I'll target it in general, but maybe a bit lower so that it kind of makes like a, sort of like a, on
Like a
top of
pit?
the damage, right? Yeah, sort of like a pit or like a puddle or something on the ground.
Making it hard, difficult terrain to move.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. Well, what's your save DC and what's the save? Is it dexterity as well?
Let me see. Probably it's dexterity. Let me read it. It says 14 dex is the save.
Okay.
And what was the other question? The
Yeah, 14 dex. That's what I needed to
yeah,
know.
14 dex, yeah.
Thankfully, this is a very clumsy, slow-moving creature, so we'll see how this goes. They have a, they needed to, well, yours was a 14, right?
Mm-hmm.
They rolled a 14, but they have a -2 to dex, so that is a failure on their part, so go ahead and roll the damage for me.
Okay.
But that is a third success.
I think it's only a d6.
All right.
Nice.
Still, you fire the acid splash, and you begin to see it corrode this armor of this creature, as well as the murky dirt and bog at its feet, as you watch it kind of stumble as it falls to one knee, and then almost begins to slowly and fall prone on its side. So, is there anything else you'd like to do?
Okay, so it's prone now.
Yes, it is prone, so it would need to burn a lot of movement to stand back up.
Okay, so do I still have to disengage to get out without an attack of opportunity?
No, not in this case, no.
Okay.
No, and also Enrique's pushed you away in this process.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, you were outside of its melee range when this happened.
Okay, cool. Alright, so I'll do that, and then, I noticed that Floof is near me because I was guarding the children, and he's attempting to pick them up, so I think I will use my move action to go towards the children and then try to aid. I don't know if I can do the bonus action. I already used my action, but I'm trying to aid with picking up the children on our
I
way
would
up.
say if you still have a key point left.
Oh yeah, I have 2 still.
If you burn a key point and use the help action, I'll allow it in this case. And then I will allow Floof you to roll with advantage another athletics check
Okay.
to see if you guys can cooperatively take the children away, and this would be your final skill challenge roll.
Yep.
That is more than enough on the first one. As Dazes, you watch as Floof is beginning to stumble down with the children, but you come in underneath and grab the small girl as he has the other boy over his shoulder, and you're able to assist and allow his by removing some of the weight on his other side for him to right himself with ease and get to stable ground. And that is your fourth and final success, as your group is able to put some distance initially between you and the Inquisitors, and you hear a calling voice from Enrique. Find Captain Silva! Find the Ixion! Go! Go now! You watch as this charged bolt of energy sails out from the hand of the Tabaxi man and strikes Enrique like hard in the chest. And he's able to withstand it, but it is quite a blow as he reverses the cane sword that you all have seen now. You watch as this lunarium crystal begins to as this twisting and turning light sprays out in all directions, and you hear this almost impactful explosion of energy in all directions, centering on this cane, kicking both the Inquisitors and knocking this golem back several feet in all directions as they attempt to put some distance between you and them and the children. But you all, at this point, are successful as Enrique and Aniela are attempting to fend off these Inquisitors to allow you time to escape. As you all dash at your full speed as hard as you can to get away from these individuals into the failing light of the evening, running down along the coastal edge south towards what you assume is your destination. Now a individual by the name of Captain Silver and a vessel that you caught by the name of the Ixion. As you head south further and further into the night, as you're doing this, you all are quite tired as this is, as you've had multiple encounters today. I need Constitution saving throws from everyone.
Oh my lord.
As you all...
I'm gonna die after the escape.
Okay. Okay.
Oh, wow. Okay, well.
All right. Trash and Dazes, you are fine. Floof, you gain 1 point of exhaustion.
Cool.
As you all are making your best attempt to get away and put as much distance as possible. So exhaustion, basically, if you go to conditions in D&D Beyond, you can add, there are 6 different levels of exhaustion. The first gives you disadvantage on a number of checks. I think it's attack rolls and skill checks. And then that will be, whoops, I'm sorry. That is not correct. Sorry. Oh, take that off. There you go. So it should automatically implement that when you go to roll.
Okay.
But yeah, you're definitely sucking wind as you're trying to move through this thick mud. Dazes and Trash, with your lighter frames, are able to kind of skip across this tough terrain, but with your heavier form, Floof, you are definitely sinking into some of this muddy turf, making it a lot more difficult to run. But after about an hour of this intense physical exertion, you feel fairly confident that you have put enough distance between you and the Inquisitors to slow down and take a breath after your intense ordeal. But you are uncertain where exactly along this coast the rumored Captain Silver and the Ixion are exactly. As you continue to head south, given the indication from Agnella previously, it is several hours along this coastal area. These are non-passed roads. These are not well-traveled roads. You do see the lights on the east of some of these hamlets, but they are several miles in that direction. There are not a lot of townhomes or any type of man-made structures along this coastal area due to weather surges, as well as various creatures that inhabit this area as you grow closer to the deltas even further south. But right now you all are just beginning to get into, this is now a little after, I would say, realistically clock timing, if we're going off of a 24-hour clock, about between 1 o'clock and 2 o'clock in the morning, the very, very early morning hours. It is pitch black in this area as you move further south, traveling with these children, both of which at this point, as they hang in your arms, have fallen asleep, as the shock and fear of the situation has overcome them, with quite a bit of exhaustion as well. But as you continue to head south, you can hear the crash of the waves to your right as you're moving south, but to a western direction in this case. You hear the soft caw of night birds of prey You hear the echoing of the winds, the coastal winds, whipping across the sheer walls of some of these steep coastal rock formations. You see the salt pilings across some of these, giving them a very distinct linear pattern as the waves have crashed over millennia against these stone facings, chipping away into this almost sheer fall of rock, about 60 to 80 feet down in various areas. It takes approximately an additional 3 hours before you begin to see any signs of movement or life or man-made structures. But just as you are about to succumb to additional exhaustion, you begin to see what looks like the shadows of movement in a large vessel-like structure moored just below in a cove-like area. Dazes, you would recognize this area as the Hexus Coves. Hexxus.
Okay.
This area has a number of various cove formations that have been formed over millennia as the waves have crashed in various directions, creating these kind of almost perfectly spherical walls, allowing for what you know as smuggler locations, where less than savory vessels often take up anchor to move off cargo to various areas as they prepare to bring them into Mirstadt to avoid the tariffs of the city.
That's my favorite type of vessel.
But as you grow closer, you begin to hear voices and shoutings on the deck of this vessel as it begins to come into view. And you notice that the cliffs are beginning to slowly step down as you get closer to one of these particular coves where this vessel is anchored. And you hear the crash of waves, and now you're beginning the muddy, murky mixture of plant life and dirt is giving way to soft, smooth, white sands as you step down into this cove, and you see the overhang of these salt-encrusted, cavernous cliff sides that have kind of umbrellaed over the top of everything, where the waves haven't been able to crash against them. You can hear as people are moving cargo to and from this vessel that's moored just offshore. You see these smaller lifeboats and transportation boats that are just on the shore here as they're moving crates to and from these smaller rowboats. And as you approach, one of these individuals eyes you all. Hey! What do you lot want?
We're looking for a ship. The Ixion.
Right. What you want with the Ixion?
We seek Captain Silver for passage.
Give me a persuasion check.
Okay.
I know no Captain Silver. But I do know a Captain Gold. As he kind of makes the motion of greasing his palms.
Jesus.
That's how it works here.
That was a good one, by the way, Stopper. I like that one.
Yeah, that was nice.
All right. I'll slip him a single gold and see how he feels.
Give me another persuasion check with advantage.
Okay. Well,
12.
yeah, I don't know why I didn't go through. I rolled an 8 and a 12 on the.
Okay. The 12. Oi, Captain! Got some live ones looking for you. You see just over about maybe 70 or 80 feet back near one of the other boats, you see an individual kind of supervising the movement of crates and cargo, checking their inventory list as they're moving things to and from these rowboats. Ah, it's Allison. What have we here? And as this individual steps forward, you notice this almost this thin kind of straight-faced individual with a sort of with very subtle bovine features to them, and they are quite tall. They're about 7 feet tall, maybe just a tad bit shorter than you, Floof. But you notice as they grow closer to this individual that you had been speaking to up until now, that one of their legs is a prosthetic that they kind of limp a bit with, as it's not quite, it doesn't appear to be quite fitted right. Unlike some of the more well-made and more expensive ones that you see in some of the major cities, this one seems to be very ramshackle and secondhand. Like it wasn't originally intended for this individual, especially somebody quite so tall. But we have some visitors today. To whom am I speaking? While you guys are answering that, I'm going to pull up some artwork.
I'll just say I am Dazes.
And Dazes. With all due respect, what the fuck are you doing here?
Well, I do believe that there was an arrangement for passage for these, and I gestured towards the children. And,
You're members of the Sonnet? Or perhaps just some commissioned work?
something of the sort.
Good. Yes, we were expecting them 2 days ago. You've been sitting here offshore. We were just about to leave. But it looks like we are getting paid, boys! And you hear this kind of loud, ruckus cheer as he brings up money to everyone. Let me go ahead and add this individual to everyone's journals, and I will show that for everyone to see. Captain Timothy Silver. The
cool guy.
yes, forget what's the name of the race.
Oh, Furbolg or something?
Fearbolg, thank you. I was like, I know it starts with an F and I couldn't remember. I had a brain fart. Yes. You see now that he's close enough, you see the kind of the bovine features and the bit of a bulbous trailing nose, looking down, and the long low slung ears with a pair of earrings in each. and he's wearing leathers as well as a green overcloak as he looks at you all through this scraggly, salt, kind of baked facial hair, this graying, slightly fur-covered skin. But yes, he is a Fearbolg individual. Looks like Enrique did deliver on the goods. Well then. We did discuss 2 passengers. 5 is a bit of a stretch.
I'd like to hand him the children, and an exhausted, heavy breath suggests that we go back and try to help the others, because I'm ashamed of running away.
If you...
I guess.
Go ahead.
Sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I guess I'll just say, what do you think you could do in the state that you're in?
I'm fine.
Floof, give me a deception check. Dazes, give me an insight check.
Okay.
It's hard to say. He says he's fine, even though, but you're all very winded, so it's hard to say. But you know how you feel, but it's hard to say how your companions are.
Floof, have I ever given you the impression that I'm a scaredy cat, or I'm really afraid of things, or I'm really skittish in the time we've been together?
Yeah.
And do you remember when those times were?
No.
Well, I can tell you, both those times involve those lanterns, those lights, and the people that carry them. Believe me, I want so badly to be strong enough to go back and hurt those people with every fiber of my being. But we're not there yet.
But we could help.
No, we can't. That's the problem. We have to help, we have to leave. We have to train. We have to be stronger.
Then we come back and kill them?
Yes. I promise you.
I don't say anything else, but I seem to have accepted that we're not going back.
Captain Silver looks at you all. We're heading to the far southeastern corner of the continent. You all are welcome to accompany us. But you're not doing so for free. So, have you all ever been on a ship before?
My eyes probably brighten a bit. And I would say, been on one. I live on them.
Excellent, yes.
I shake my head.
Give me a deception check.
Floof.
Love it when I move screens around and don't pay attention. With a 9, he gives you a side eye and goes, "You look like you're a very sturdy man, but We'll see about whether or not those sturdy muscles are seaworthy soon enough. Huh. But the water genasi on board, yes. I believe you 100%. You have the cut in the brow of a man who's been on the sea for many, many years. And you, little one. And he stares at you, Trash. Are you coming along as well?
Have I been on a boat before? Like travels?
Extremely briefly, when you were accompanied by Catherine. Traveling between... you had traveled briefly on one of the larger riverboats, moving away from the capital city of Magnolia, but you've never been on the open ocean before.
Say, well, I have definitely read more about ships that I have actual experience with them, but I can pull my weight.
I like to hear it. All right, everyone. Let's get ready to ship out. And he looks to you all. Let's see what you all can do to start with. We need to move some of this material as quickly as possible. The longer we stay here, the likelihood that the Port Authority will catch on. So, let's see about getting this wrapped up here. And we're gonna have one more little skill challenge here for you all. So we'll just keep the same order we had before. Starting with you, Trash. You see all these individuals moving crates and boxes onto these various rowboats. You see various moorings and supports and straps from some individuals. Some of the larger individuals are moving these big, heavy crates, while others are strapping them down to the rowboats so they don't shift around as they're moving over the waves. What would you like to do in this to assist with this process?
Sorry, so there's a bunch of like barrels, or sorry, I missed the
Barrels, crates, various burlap sacks full of food supplies and foodstuffs, larger crates of fresh water for the ship, things of that nature, supplies for the journey. You, Dazes, would know that from here, from Mirstadt, typically from the true port of Mirstadt all the way to Callisto is about a 4 to 4.5 day journey at sea, going along the coast of the continent.
Okay.
But it is substantially shorter than the almost week and a half to 2 week overland travel to go around the desert, to avoid severe danger of going directly through the Fidi Dunes.
Mm-hmm.
That would
that's 4.5 to 5 days from here to like Callista,
Yeah, the capital city of the Jamila dynasty, where you all are headed.
Yeah, I guess I can't think of anything that I could do much better than just, me and Panda just try to grab whatever we can carry, or maybe we can carry something between the two of us and just start trying to assist.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead and with Panda's help, give me an athletics. Give me an athletics check with advantage as you have Panda's help doing this.
Oh my gosh, thank God for advantage. It's like an 8 and a 19.
Nice.
So that'll be 20 total.
20, dirty 20. Yeah, absolutely. With Panda's help, you are able to make quick work of some of these smaller crates, getting them moved over quickly as some of the crew kind of admire your ingenuity over raw strength as you're able to move these crates to and from the shore onto these smaller vessels. But that is one success. You need 2 more. So, Floof, you are up next. What would you like to do?
Can I just I don't know. I'm still kind of frustrated and maybe a little ashamed and exhausted. Um, can I just sit here with my thoughts and catch my breath without costing us or risking a failure?
If you don't do anything, it's an auto failure.
Oh, okay, never mind.
They're gonna look at you funny, like you're not pulling your weight.
All right, I'll grab probably bigger size crates just because I'm bigger, and
Okay.
I will attempt to carry it onto the boat.
All right. Go ahead and give me an athletics check, and this is with disadvantage because you are exhausted.
Okay. Hey,
Okay. That's with disadvantage?
I had a nat 20 and a 15, yeah.
God damn, yeah. Even with your exhaustion, your large form more than makes up for it, and you are able to move some of even the larger crates that some of these crewmen are not able to even begin to pick up or drag. You lift up with ease and set where they need to go inside some of the more empty boats designated for these crates. That is 2 successes. Dazes, you are up. You have seen this routine more times than you can count. What would you like to do?
Is there anything that looks like it needs doing that would involve anything in water, or
Yes.
maybe some climbing, like some higher up stuff?
Yes,
To make use
there's...
of my dexterousness.
Yeah, some of these boats where you see Floof is kind of moving these larger crates, they need straps that need to go underneath the boat to kind of hold them in place. Otherwise, they don't really have anything to hold them down. They need netting, and you see that these eye hooks on the outer hull of the vessels to kind of hold the larger crates in place so they don't shift around against the waves. So yeah, with your swim speed, you can go ahead and give me an acrobatics check with advantage.
Yeah.
'Cause you are quite capable in this case. Okay. That's with advantage.
Unfortunately.
That's actually just
One
enough.
of them was a nat one.
Oh god, okay. Well, there you go. Well, that is actually just enough. The DC was 13 for all of these. So.
Oh, thank God.
So you just made it there as you're having a bit of trouble in the dark with very little moonlight, but you are able to find and scan across the outer hull of some of these rowboats and these lifeboats and find these eye hooks and begin to strap down these larger crates as Floof is moving them back and forth, and you see the pair of Trash and Panda moving back and forth as well. Captain Silver kind of goes, "Well done! All right, everyone! Let's make it back to the Ixion! Double time! Let's go, everyone!" As you are noted to go to a number of the boats, kind of filling in the gaps between the crew as you step on the boat. Having 3 immediate successes, the crew is very impressed as they kind of, pat you all on the back and kind of greet you with a warm reception, especially seeing that you all are quite exhausted and that you're carrying in tow 2 small children, which they are, some of the female members of the crew are just enamored with as they're kind of taking after these 2 children, as some of the men are more eager to show them more bad habits than they should, kind of motioning for them to have a drink with them. And you see one of the female crew members kind of elbow one in the face after he tries to hand a drink to the young lad. But you get the understanding that there's, although a very dysfunctional, there is a very familial kind of candor to this whole crew of the Ixion. As although they are very rough around the edges, various peoples and races and individuals that have been most likely cast out from society and more of a fixed lifestyle have kind of embraced this this call of the open ocean and this corsair's lifestyle, if you will.
I start having flashbacks and tearing up, and I take out the coin,
right,
and like, look at it for a little bit.
one of the crewmen kind of looks over at you as you're looking at this coin, and kind of gives you a nod as they look at you. Oi, you follow the Mistress of Fate, do you?
Unfortunately, fate has not been on my side.
That's fate there, lad. Sometimes you rake in the gold, and sometimes you're scraping your ass off the side of the coast. Fortunately, that's how life works.
Ain't that the truth?
But you're in good hands here. Captain Silver's one of the best.
I appreciate it.
He hands you a drink. You look like you need this more than I do.
Cheers.
It takes about 20 or so minutes to get out and get some of the crates hooked up onto the ship with y'all's assistance as well. But the children are brought up toot sweet to get them cleaned up and to bed, as they look absolutely ragged at this point, and are kind of bouncing back and forth between being awake and falling asleep at any given moment. And they are essentially cargo at this point, as this was a commission by the Sonnet to escort these children to safety. But you all are brought aboard as well, as the last bits of cargo and smuggled goods. As you notice, there are a number of less than reputable goods aboard this ship. Some bootleg liquors that you notice in some of the crates, as well as various marked goods from various shipping services that you, Dazes, would recognize as those that generally are exclusively shipped by proprietary members of that company or that manufacturer. And Trash, you notice even a number of the crates have the seal of the magistrate on them, which the magistrate does not commission out this type of shipment of magical goods to anyone. So this is definitely either A, stolen, or B, being smuggled. But you kind of turn the other cheek in this instance, as to make note of it now would probably not be the best of ideas.
Mm-hmm.
And you've got the idea pretty early on that these individuals don't follow the beaten path very often. But you all are brought aboard and are shown sign of a communal quarters on the ship itself that kind of moves in rotation as various shifts, as these vessels, especially a smuggling vessel with a limited crew, kind of have to operate in a 24-hour a day, shift structure. So some of the crew are immediately recognize that you all are, very heavily exhausted and very beaten up and bloodied. Some even, going as far to kind of poke questions at it, but you all are pretty tight-lipped about what's going on, and they understand that probably not the best time in the world to ask this, but maybe later. But yeah, let me go ahead and pull up the deck of the Ixion.
I'm on a boat.
There's 3 segments to the ship. There's the main deck that you all see now. Move this because my other screen's black. You can't see anything. But you see that Captain Silver now stands at the wheel, beginning to make final preparations to set sail into the open sea. And you see a number of individuals prepping the boat for departure. And I'll go ahead and just pull up the whole below deck, but when we get to various areas, we'll just you can focus on where you would like the various quarters. That same individual that was talking to you, Dazes, a human man, begins to escort you around the ship and show you where everything is. So the deck itself is the topmost portion of the ship, and then there's the cargo and crew's quarters at the front of the ship, as well as some of the officers' quarters at the back. And then the lowest deck portions are reserved for cargo, as well as some finer quarters and the mess hall at the rear of the ship. And then even lower, there's a main cargo hold where everyone has kind of stored everything down below. But at this point, you hear Captain Silver kind of call to everyone, "Weigh anchor! Let's get on it, lads!" And you hear the cranking of the ship's anchor as it's pulled over the side of the ship. Sorry, I don't know nautical terms. I don't know where it's port, starboard. Don't ask. I'm not that good about it. But you see the anchor being pulled over the side, in between 2 large cannons on either side, for a total of 4 large firing implements. This isn't. It's about a medium-sized vessel. Made for speed and maneuverability, but also enough room below deck. And you also noticed in that lowest cargo hold, which isn't shown on the map, that a lot of the entrances to that main cargo hold are decked over to look like it's just a continuation of the floor. But you watch as they pull up makeshift hinges that are on the underside of those planks that reveal various large hatches that they can store contraband and smuggled goods in.
Nice.
That they have they've done this a few times. All right, you'll be staying up in the front of the boat, everybody. Go ahead and get yourselves a rest. You'll need it. Bright and early, we get started.
Take that offer.
Yeah, you'll be staying in the front part of the ship where you see those hammocks. And they've got the children in one of the lower portions, not far from the captain's quarters. I'm sorry, in that same level that you all are on, but in one of the rooms, the captain's quarters being the far back middle of the ship. Or, I'm sorry, the furthest most bedroom in that center section. You all are here at the front. You can actually drag your tokens there if you would like onto the map. But with that, if you guys would like to take a quick little bathroom break, I do need to use the restroom and grab some more to drink as well.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
And then we will continue with our games of D&D. But we'll take about a little 5-minute break here.
Okay.
Sounds good.
All right, I'm going to throw some music on for chat, and I'll be right back. But you all are woken fairly early. but you were able to get a full long rest aboard the Ixion. It is a large enough vessel that the swaying of the ship is not overly obtrusive, but for anyone who is not used to the open ocean movement, it could be a bit jarring for the first time. But you are woken by a young man, a half-orcish man, who with a thin frame, who kind of calls out to you from the other side of the door. Oi! Oi, you lot! Captain Silver wants to speak to you on deck!
Let's go, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you want to drag your tokens onto the deck of the Ixion. Coming up above deck, you see a number of the crew already fast at work, pulling down the various moorings, as well as the various ties to the sails, trying to capture as much of the trade winds as they can. As you watch Captain Silver very confidently holding at the wheel. The early morning weather is a bit foggy close to the coast, but not overly obtrusive, as he guides with confidence the vessel along the coast. You're far enough away that it is just a thin silhouette along the horizon as you move southeastern, roughly, towards the open ocean, but still every now and again kind of hugging back, following the coastal line, not getting out into too much open water, running the risk of any dangers of the open sea. But you see as you come up to the deck, Captain Silver eyes you all. I see you all survived the night aboard the Ixion. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Well then, good to have you all aboard. We will be traveling straight to Callisto with one stop along the way to drop off our young cargo at their designated location. But you all are not traveling for free. I expect you all to work hard along the way. So, with that said, he calls out, Eric! Eric, get your ass over here! And you see the young half-orc lad come running up again to, and I don't have a token for them, but comes running up. Aye, sir! Aye, sir! Show our temporary crew members to their posts. And then Eric kind of escorts you along. Starting with you, Trash, here on the deck of the ship. You seem capable with that, what do you call that thing that was following you around? The little automaton?
Panda.
Right, Panda. What's your skill with some firing implements? We've got some maintenance we got to do on these cannons, and I need your help.
I've studied cannons in my time. I know my way enough, I hope. I'd be happy to assist.
I think you have proficiency in firearms as an artificer.
I believe I do, yes.
So yeah, you would have at least a rudimentary knowledge of the various firing mechanisms of these cannons and the basic build and manufacture, and will be able to sort of diagnose any errors and try to clean up and streamline some of these cannons. But he kind of points you to one of the other crew members, a young woman, a human woman, who's in the process of taking apart one of these cannons over here on the front of the ship here. And she's eager to have some assistance as she's trying to hold this heavier piece on the side of this cannon.
Boy, can you take this for me real quick? I need to dislodge this firing pin, and I don't have a third arm.
So as you're doing that, Eric then turns to you, Dazes.
You're pretty capable on a ship, right? There's a individual up in the crow's nest. His name's Carlos. He needs a bit of a hand up there.
Yes, sir.
And he points up, and you see a very small goblinoid man sitting up in the crow's nest with a scope, kind of scanning the horizon aboard. And you hear Eric call up, "Oi, Carlos! Got a second set of eyes for you!" "Oh, God, okay!" As he calls down from the topmost mast, the highest point of the ship. "Send him up!" As he waves you up as he continues to scan the horizon.
I will climb.
All right. And Floof, Eric kind of escorts you down deep into the bowels of the ship, where the crew is down there sorting through the various inventory for the journey, as well as the goods that they are transporting to their final destination.
Okay.
And they are in dire need of somebody with some brute strength to move some of these crates about.
I will go with him.
All right. At this point, can I get somebody to roll me a d20, please, for your first day of travel?
I'm on it.
All right. With an 8. The seas are a bit rough. They're not the most calm as you get further away from the shores, just barely seeing the coastal edge of the continent as you pass along, and you're just beginning to see Dazes as Carlos is up there pointing in your direction, pointing out the edge of the Ragaru Delta, and they're staying pretty far away from giving a wide berth to this location in particular, kind of taking an excessively wide pass around it. We don't want to go near there. It's rough goings around that place. Too many nasty critters around there.
I understand.
But you have a relatively uneventful day. Sorry, I had a brain fart there. Relevant. Wow, man, I can't English today. Relatively uneventful. God.
Words.
Now, brown cow. The day goes by without incident. And you begin to see the inner workings of this vessel and get to know some of the crew members, as well as you see the young girl and the young boy, the twins, occasionally as they're kind of watched over by various members of the crew throughout the day. The young boy a few times stays up on the deck just observing, as well as comes over to you and the young woman Trash, very interested in the inner workings of these cannons as you all are repairing a number of these. Again, the day goes by without any negative side effects. As you reach into your second day of travel, I need another d20 roll from you.
This one's mine.
Okay.
You got it.
The 19. You all are gifted with some beautiful weather this day, as the skies are clear, the winds are strong, and the sails of the ship are pulled taut throughout the day. as the captain has a wide, exuberant smile on his face, and you guys gain an extra half day of travel along this day with these excellent wind conditions as you avoid the delta with ease. And you even see, as you are cascading along the smooth waters pulled along by the strong trade winds, you see these small thin wafer-like objects suddenly come up and over and out of the waves alongside your vessel. And you look over, Dazes, you in particular would see this first. They are... You would recognize these creatures. They are a school of flying fish, often viewed as a good sign and fair travels to those moving through the open seas, as they accompany you on either side of the vessel. And you hear Captain Silver cry out, "Finally, some good luck! An extra round of drinks for everyone this evening!" And you hear this boisterous cry from the crew as everyone is in great spirits by the end of the day. That evening, you have quite the feast with the crew. A hearty stew of boar and various mixed greens and potatoes, as well as a copious amount of various liquors that were either brought by individuals of the crew or shared as rations with the crew. Some of the harder stuff was definitely brought in by individuals.
Very nice.
But it is an exuberant day and evening that comes to a close without incident. Everyone is in great spirits. And you have, like I said, made up an extra half day of travel with these excellent winds. Can I get one more D20 roll for the third day, please?
I guess
That's you, trash.
Oh my. There had to be one. That's a 6.
Following the excellent weather is often a day of less than savory conditions, as you're encountered by, or you're greeted as you come around. Let me pull up the world map here for you all. Whoops. You're greeted with some intense headwinds, as well as a heavy storm. You're approximately just along the southern edge of the Feedy Dunes, as you, Dazes, can see the far-stretching sands as far as your vision and even your extended vision with these scopes is able to see moving north. Sands for as far as the eye can see. But as you turn, you and Carlos see it in record time. "Oi, Captain! A bit of nasty weather coming our way!" And at this point, we're going to have another skill challenge as you all head deep into the dangerous storms heading your way. If I can get, we'll keep the initiative roll that we had before. That way we won't have to roll too much extra here. But starting with trash, the winds around, you can feel the boat rocking back a lot more chaotically than before, as these heavy winds whip back and forth through the sails and against the hull. You have large waves rip over the side of the front of the ship as it rears up over the top of the wave and then immediately dips down as it falls. And these waves coming over the top of the ship, you're seeing large, just scatters of water in all directions as the salt air and the waves crash over the top of the deck. "Careful now, everyone! Don't get thrust aside! What are you doing to try to assist the crew, Trash, with combating this dangerous weather?
So, could I maybe try to? I'm trying to think. It's basically just like the sails are down and we're getting hit with a lot of wind, or they managed to pull the sails back up at this point.
They're attempting, you see some of the crew attempting to pull the sails back up so they aren't damaged, because you see the main mast is creaking very chaotically, and you hear the wood twisting and turning against the strain of the wind, and they're trying to reduce that strain of that headwind.
Okay. I don't know if this makes any sense. I guess you would know better, but I do know like mending. Would it help at all if I started trying to cast mending around where I hear the wood have like tiny cracks or breaks in it to just try to keep it together while they bring the sail up?
Yeah, absolutely. You cast mending. Go ahead and give me a d20 roll and add your spellcasting modifier to it.
Okay. Spellcasting modifier. I just increased it because I ended up taking Shadow Touched.
Okay.
I haven't selected the spell that it is, but I'm trying to remember. If I exit like the page, I can come back to it and it'll show me what my current.
Yes, it should. So yeah, if it bumped it to an even number, it should have increased your modifier.
Okay.
As long as you had it selected in the editor, it should have increased your modifier.
So even if I selected it, it still would be like, it would show up even though I haven't selected like the spell yet.
Yes, yeah. As long as you made this modifier selection or the ability score increase selection, that will show up.
Okay. So then it would have, I rolled 12, and then the intelligence modifier or my spell would be 4.
So 16.
So that's a total of 16.
Yes. Yeah, you with relative certainty and ease, you were able to move about the ship, and your plasmoid form kind of lends to this slickness as the deck becomes very slippery. But with your amoeboid-like form, you're able to move with relative ease in all directions, kind of almost sliding back and forth, kind of morphing and demorphing back and forth as you hear creaks of wood and cracking. You immediately follow back and forth, honing in on these areas and casting mending to alleviate the strain and any damage that's caused. That is one success. Now we're on to Floof.
Okay. So yeah, I'd like to stand next to the captain and try to just kind of stand still and really focus on the winds and look at the winds and see if I can maybe read them in a way that I could suggest to the captain of the maybe best way to steer the ship during the storm.
You can give me either nature or perception to see if you can follow the pattern of the wind and assist Captain Silver with guiding the ship.
Okay, and real quick, with the long rest, am I still exhausted?
No, the exhaustion would go away with a long rest.
Okay.
Yeah, so you would lose 1 point of exhaustion for every night of long rest, and you've had multiple since then.
Okay.
This should be a normal roll.
Here it goes.
The 25, with ease, you are able to follow the pattern of the wind. You know from your experiences within the forest, following the movement of the wind and the cycles of the seasons, you have relative certainty at all points as you are able to direct not only Captain Silver, but members of the crew that are trying to straighten up and bring up the sails so they're not damaged. And that is another success. One more, and you have succeeded in this skill challenge. Dazes, we are up to you.
Alright. Okay. I mean, I guess. I don't know. I mean, I'm experiencing, I guess, what needs to be done to go through some inclement weather, so I feel like if I could just like generally assist with like the things that I know need to get done on the ship, like
Sure. With your expertise of nautical travel, your sailor background, you notice right away that the crew is having trouble getting the sails up in place. You notice one of the riggings along the mast that is just below you is actually stuck. They are unable to bring that side of the sail up, as it is there's a knot that's caught in the actual pulley that is not allowing it to be pulled back up. With your time as a sailor, I will give you advantage on an acrobatics check to try to climb over and untie this knot that's gotten stuck in the pulley.
it was a what check you cut out.
I'm sorry, acrobatics. With ease, you one foot in front of the other without even having to go down to all fours until you're right there beside the pulley, are able to get over to the knotted area, and just as the crew is releasing the tension that they are pulling from the other side, you pull it inwards and are able to unhook this knot that's formed in the pulley, and you feel immediately as they jerk the other way, the rope is yanked free and the sail begins to come up. But as this is happening, you almost lose your balance. Please give me a dexterity saving throw.
Nice.
You're fine. You're able to catch yourself with ease, and you drop down, so you're hanging from the edge of this sail. But as it's coming up, you're able to kind of monkey bar across the end of the fabric of the sail, and then flip yourself with ease back into the crow's nest. And Carlos looks at you with this wide, toothy goblin grin, and starts almost clapping at this point, because it was quite a spectacle. And you all are successful in foregoing any damage to the Ixion, it's several hours of heavy winds and heavy rain and crashing and chaotic movement of the ship, but with y'all's assistance, you are able to forego any more dangerous situations through this storm. And by mid-afternoon, the weather begins to calm as the sun begins to set on the horizon. Captain Silver looks at you all. Well done, lads! Well done, well done. I've not seen quite a show like that in many years. You're putting my crew to shame. Perhaps I can hire you on after we've reached our destination.
Oh, just captain, but I do have business to take care of.
Of course, I jest, but if you all are ever in need of continuous employment, I would be happy to have you.
Can I check on the children, make sure they're okay?
Sure. Yeah, you go down below deck, and the children are actually down in the kitchen, assisting with kind of moving a lot of, or securing a lot of those things and securing the food stuff so nothing gets ruined or destroyed down there. They seemed a bit shaken up by the storm, having never been out at sea, but are relatively unscathed.
Okay. I'd like to go, let them say hi, make sure if they need anything, they could come find me.
They kind of look at you with a sense of sort of like a kind of a way a younger brother looks at an older sibling, or kind of a role model admiration, and the young lad also looks at you and.
I wanted to ask you a question before you go, if you don't mind.
I growl at him the same way as before, but like, not in a threatening way, just as that's kind of how I react, unintentionally being scary.
Oh, I heard from the other ones that you can do some magic too?
I can.
We're not that good, but me and my sister, we can do a little bit of magic too. Well, we'd love to see what you can do. We'd love to learn.
Okay, I'll turn into a kitchen mouse and crawl around and climb on the counter and check on the food and stuff like that.
Like a fantastical little ratatouille, you transform into a kitchen mouse and scurry up onto the countertops. And were it not for the children exclaiming that you were not just a random rat in the kitchen, the chef would have immediately grabbed a nearby pan and tried to squash you. But you see their eyes go wide in this natural... in this display of natural magics, and as you wild shape into this small rodent, and they are thoroughly impressed by this, and you can add a point of inspiration, Floof.
Let's go.
As you see, these children are incredibly entertained by this display from you. And you see the young boy begins to clap, but one of his hands that he's clapping with, you see is this ethereal-looking hand that he's training himself to hold shape of. It fades in and out of view a couple times, but you can see that he's become a lot more proficient in creating what is essentially a mage hand. It's a very simple spell for a well-trained spellcaster, but for a small child, it is, especially a child like this that has no formal training, to be able to summon and create this without formal instruction is pretty impressive.
Okay, I'll give him a little approving nod and a little pat on the head and tell him to keep training.
You see a wide smile from both he and his younger sister as you exit the kitchen.
Okay.
All right, I love it. Your third day of travel, despite the heavy winds, you're able to overcome without losing any time. And the day comes to a close, and you are able to take yet another rest into the evening. So any spells or anything that you all would use, you can take another long rest. As your shift in this particular instance would have been a bit earlier, so your long rest would start just after dark. as you're expected to be up before first light to begin your next shift for the final day of travel. But as this is happening, as you go to sit down and lay down for the evening to take your rest, at this point, it is probably just after midnight, and Dazes, in your mind, you begin to relive a moment in your life. A terrifying experience, in fact. Whether it be the trip back aboard the Ixion or the trauma of the aqueducts below Mirstadt, or the stress in general of travel, you begin to relive the night, the last time you were aboard a vessel, the evening you almost perished below the waves. You relive the crack of lightning, the heavy rains, the traumatic seas shifting back and forth, the darkness, the moonless night, followed by fire and cracking of lumber of the hull of the ship, the screams of the crew. They are flung overboard into the ice-cold waters of the Serpent Sea. Into this evening nightmare, you wake up, drenched in sweat, about an hour before your shift begins. It is still quite dark. Or, I'm sorry, it is very dark. It's probably 1 or 2 in the morning. As you head out onto the deck of the ship to get some fresh air and clear your mind, as the memories are still vivid in your thoughts. And as you step onto the deck, an otherwise dark but clear sky begins to grow cloudy. And in the distance you hear the crack of lightning, not unlike the storm that came to you that very evening. The waves around the ship begin to become more chaotic and shake. Crewman, now holding the vessel steady, becomes a bit nervous looking as an unforeseen storm begins to encompass the Ixion. The darkness of this evening is overshadowed by a sense of dread. An ominous feeling encompasses the deck of the ship. As you look around and look up at the skies, trying to follow the source of this unusual stormy weather, you briefly catch a glimpse of what looks like a feminine figure high above the sails. A pair of sharp eyes staring down. You're unsure staring down at what, but you feel this sense that these eyes are piercing directly at you. Give me an insight check. These eyes stare down at you like angry spheres. Sense of hatred betrayal, sorrow, and pain pierce into your mind. And as they glare down at you from high above in the sky, a crack of lightning strikes down on the deck of the ship as the eyes vanish. But with a loud boom, I need you to make a Constitution saving throw for me, Dazes.
What the fuck is going on?
You don't take any damage, but the force of the impact kicks you back about 15 feet, and you slam against the back of the mast of the ship. As you look up again for the source of those two sharp eyes, they have vanished from the sky. As you are looking down on the deck of the ship, you see this amorphous, shadowy form where the lightning had struck the deck begin to form like a spiraling, serpentine-like at first, but its shape amorphous and unrestrained. But again, you see a similar pair of eyes through the shadows staring directly at you. Trash and Floof, and this lightning strikes the deck. You are kicked out of your deep sleep. There'll be one surprise round, but I need everyone to roll initiative.
Oh.
My bad, y'all.
What did you do?
Well, you are not surprised, Aziz, but Floof and Trash, you will not be in the first round of combat.
Okay.
What is your total dexterity, Aziz?
18.
18? Okay, we'll go for it. Right. Set the scene for you all on the deck of the ship. Trash and Floof, you will come through on round 2. And then we'll pick up at the top of the initiative order with Trash in round 2.
Okay.
We will start with Aziz on the deck of the ship. Let me move some of these tokens off real quick.
Are we like more in the middle of this?
Yeah, I'll put you guys. I'm sorry. Drag your tokens back onto the deck of the ship. So, Trash and Floof, you would start here at the deck in the next round, but technically you are not on the deck itself right now.
Okay.
Yeah, Dazes,
Alright.
you would be right there at the mast. Which you see directly in front of you. shadowy,
Ooh.
amorphous creature, multiple appendages coming from the main body. And the only stark contrast, a pair of crystal blue piercing eyes that lock to your form, that pierce daggers into your heart. But you are up first. You are prone right now, so you would need to burn half your movement to stand up.
Okay. I will do that.
Okay?
Let me see. Okay. And I will also move here, just so that I'm in range for a ranged attack, because I'm not trying to
Okay.
rush in and get beat down by this thing.
Yep.
But I will attempt to attack it with a dart.
Okay. Go ahead and show me the dart. 15 just hits. Let me double check one thing real quick. Go ahead and roll your damage as the dart sails into this shadowy form in front of you. Damn it, D&D Beyond. It's me right now. Okay, yeah, it's fine. You watch the dart sail in, and although it makes contact with this form, you see that it doesn't quite make as much purchase as you would originally anticipate. It definitely struck this creature, but you don't seem to see it reacting as much as you would expect. Is there anything else you'd like to do?
No.
All right.
So I'm my turn there.
Okay. This creature, locking eyes with you, you see in the darkness with your dark vision. Otherwise, the deck of the ship is pitch black. All lantern light, all torches with the strike of this lightning snuffed out, leaving only a thin sliver of moonlight that occasionally pierces the sky through the clouds above. You watch as this creature moves side to side as it approaches you swiftly. Its eyes locking directly in front of you as it goes to strike. And it's going to take a couple strikes at you. The first misses as you duck out of the way, but one of the underarms comes out from the form and strikes you for a critical hit.
Oh.
Oh.
You take 14 points of slashing damage as these claws of shadow rent up across your chest. You hear this hissing voice. Betrayer! At this point, we are back to the top of the round. Trash and Floof, hearing this strike above and the movement on the deck, you run up to the top And Trash, you are the first to act. What would you like to do?
Okay.
You see across the deck with your dark vision, Dazes staring down this amorphous, shadowy creature. You watch as one of the claws rents up across his chest, just as you exit the deck.
Oh shoot. What do I do? What do I do? If I can, from my position, I can the creature, and it's like that it's targeting Dazes, and I can, without endangering Dazes, I can hit it. I can strike it.
Pardon me?
If I were to strike it, like, I would be able to without hurting Dazes. Like, I have line of sight, I can see it, I can take aim, kind of thing.
Yes, it is. It is between you, as far as you can tell, that you would be able to strike it. You see, it has some amount of corporeal form, but it seems to be moving back and forth in a very, very asymmetrical way in all directions.
Okay. I will... Yeah, not really knowing what it is or what we're up against. I'm just going to... I just see that it's attacking my friend, and I'm just going to try to hit it with my crossbow.
Okay. Go ahead and show me the attack.
What? 15.
15 just hits. As the bolt sails through, and unlike the dart from earlier, coming from non-magical means, this dart sails and flies true, stabbing into the back of this creature. Go ahead and roll for damage. You see it make a solid hit into what you can only tell is the corporeal form of this creature.
It was horrible. 1 plus 5, so that's 6 damage.
6 damage. Okay. Is there anything else you'd like to do?
I'll try to move, I guess, 2, 4. I'll move onto the deck a little bit more, I guess, and just kind of stay. Yeah, I'm still keeping my distance, but I guess I move up past the entryway and kind of step up, and
Okay.
that's it for me. I always forget to put Panda. Oh, I can't put Panda on the map, if you don't mind. Just
Yeah.
kind of.
Yeah, I would assume, having heard what you heard and now seeing this, you would be able to summon your... Or along the way, I'll allow it. Are you able to put it on the map?
Yeah, I think so now.
Okay.
Oh, perfect.
There you
So, what's their speed again? Hold on. They can 40. So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, they can walk considerably farther than me. Wow, that's rude. I'll say they're like here. They're just kind of defending as their roles in the way, and because they can't get close enough to get into attack range, but at least they're in front, just kind of looking to defend, I guess.
Okay. With that, Floof, you are up. You see this shadowy, amorphous creature attacking Dazes. And you see the bolt sail into its... what you imagine is the core of its being. And Trash, what would you like to do?
So I don't have night vision, so I'm going for dark vision. I'm gonna go to. I'm gonna follow maybe Trash's scent and move next to her.
Okay.
Her, and I'm gonna use. I just learned it. Magic stone. I guess it's a cantrip.
Okay.
Which will get me 3 stones.
Okay.
And which I it seems it could be used as a bonus action, but I'm gonna give all 3 of them to Trash, and say, I can't see. Use these. Catherine friends. And and
I love it.
I don't know if, because I don't know. Could I use an action to help her? Maybe. I don't really know how I'd help.
Yeah, it depends on how you're doing it. If you're trying to point in the direction, I wouldn't.
Yeah, 'cause you can already see it, or else I would use my scent to point at it. But I'm guessing she can see it. So, and then I'll move up a step. I hear the stones move up another step or 2, and that'll be my turn.
Okay. Dazes, we are back to you. As you clutch at the wound from this creature staring you down, but merely 3 feet in front of you, what would you like to do?
Okay, so I'm still close to this mast. Is there like a... is the netting like down to where I could like climb it?
Yeah, I'd allow it. If you move away from this creature up or down or out of its melee, it would take an opportunity attack against you.
Yeah, so I think I'm gonna...
But you could bonus action disengage with a key point.
That is what I think I'm gonna do. And I'm going to, I'll do that with my bonus action, and then just my move action, I'm gonna climb.
Okay.
I guess.
You have a climbing speed? If not, it's half your movement speed. It's considered difficult terrain if you don't have a climbing speed.
Yeah, I think I just have sprint speed.
So yeah, you would be able to... What's your normal movement speed?
40.
40? You could move upwards a maximum of 20 feet.
Okay. Do I have to move over to get to the netting?
I would say you would need to probably burn 5 feet to get over to the netting.
Okay.
Behind you? Yeah. You'd have 15 more feet up.
I'll do that.
Okay. I'll put a marker on you that way we know you're above ground level.
Yeah. So that's my move and my bonus action, and then I'll... if I try to dart from here, since I'm not really standing, I'm kind of hanging on this netting, would it be like a disadvantage attack?
No. No, you can still see the creature. There's no reason for disadvantage.
Oh, actually, you know what? Okay, well, hey, in that case, can I do acid splash? Because I saw.
Yeah, absolutely. As long as you have line of sight.
Splash them.
So it's Dex 14?
Yes.
Yeah. They rolled a 17 on their Dex save.
Dang it.
I don't know if it's half damage or is it a save or suck? Well,
I think it's save or suck.
okay. So you see this creature adeptly move away from the splash of acid in the dim and darkness. Is there anything else you'd like to do?
No, I don't think there is much else.
Okay. You return to the shadowy creature as it stares up at you and then looks and turns. You see the head twist in a gruesome, awful way, or what you could assume is the head. 2 piercing blue eyes looking back at you, Trash and Floof, your defender. As it moves now between you all, you see the arms stretch out wide, and what can only be described as a maw begins to form at the center mass of this creature as it lets out this ear-piercing scream that envelops the deck of this ship. I need a wisdom saving throw from everyone.
14 for me.
All right. Did you roll for your defender as well, or did they?
Oh, you're so right. Oh my goodness. Where's your stat sheet? There it is. Oh no. Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh, Panda.
Trash and Floof, you are successful in shaking off this scream as it echoes in your mind. The Steel Defender and Dazes, the echoing scream continues to reverberate in your mind, dredging up awful memories of the past. You are frightened of this creature, meaning any attacks against it will have disadvantage and you cannot move closer to it. But at the end of each of your turns, you can repeat the saving throw.
That's cool. I didn't want to be next to you anyway.
But as this scream continues to echo in your ears, you all watch as the light above the moon begins to fade behind the clouds and the deck turns to total darkness. Even those of you with dark vision watch as this creature fades from existence in front of you, sinking below the slats of the deck into the darkness. Trash, we are back to you. You do not see this creature.
Okay. Is there anything I could do to try to see it? Or sense if it's still in our immediate area?
Yes, you can give me a perception check. Because you have dark vision, you aren't doing it at disadvantage, but I do need a perception check. See if you can ferret out where this creature has gone to.
Damn it. I have no more. Okay, 10.
The 10. Initially, you don't see any movement of this creature, but you begin to hear the movement of air moving back and forth. Sea breeze as it moves over the top of the ship moves in one direction. But you notice there's a breeze that does not move in the same direction. As you spot the creature beginning to follow up the mast, following you, Dazes. About 10 feet below you.
Below Dazes?
Yes, it's climbing up after you, Dazes.
Do I have any other... Was that my turn to perceive it?
I'll give you a free action on that one. As this creature was trying to hide mechanically, and was unsuccessful against your perception check. It was an opposed check against yours.
Okay. I had a new spell from after we leveled up. Am I allowed to use it now?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. I don't know if I understand this spell correctly, but I'm going to try to cast Fairy Fire on it.
Ooh, okay. Okay, I like it. So yeah, you absolutely could do that if you
Okay.
want to cast Fairy Fire. What is
Okay.
the save DC on Fairy Fire?
Let's see. One action, the range. It's a 20-foot cube, about 60 foot. I have to concentrate on it.
Okay.
And let's see, what does it say? Any areas also outlined. If it fails a dex saving throw of 14.
The Dex 14. Yeah, you would be able to position it in a way that you wouldn't hit Dazes, because if you do, he would have to make the saving throw as well. But
Right.
because he's below or above this creature about 10 feet, you would be able to strike the creature without striking him. But you notice a lot of these other items that are within this cube, some of the cannonballs in these racks, some of the roping in this cannon, all begin to glow with this soft pinkish light in the darkness. Let me roll their which they fail miserably. So they are also fairy fired, which means any attacks against them have advantage, and they cannot hide. Very, very clutch spell right there.
Yeah.
Nice.
So any future attacks now will have advantage against this creature, as long as you are concentrating on fairy fire and it's maintained. And they cannot use the hide action and cannot go invisible. Is there anything else you'd like to do?
I
You
I
might
don't
be able I think my for me, the stones are a bonus action. I don't know if it's the same for you.
I forgot to ask you about how I use them.
Yeah, you just throw it at them. You touch one of 3 pebbles. You or someone else can make a ranged spell attack with one of the pebbles by throwing it at.
So a
throwing it
ranged
with-
attack would be an action.
Okay. All right.
To use
Oh, my
them.
next.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, my next turn I'll start flinging it at them.
All right. Crash, is there anything else you'd like to do?
Because I need to concentrate. I'm just gonna move at least closer to Panda and hope that he can help deflect an attack if it comes to that, so I can keep concentrating on this.
Okay.
I think that's all I'll do.
Panda can't move any closer to the source of its fear, but you can re-roll the saving throw if you'd like.
Yeah, I'm just like moving closer to Panda, but I know that
Right.
at least right now he cannot move closer.
Yeah, you see they're
I'll
shaking,
just-
staring at this shadow. They're trying to
poor
remain where they
baby.
are, but they cannot move any closer.
Poor babe. Okay, I rolled it's just a straight wisdom. He doesn't have any plus or minus on wisdom, so it's 14.
14 just succeeds.
Let's go.
As you watch and with your encouragement, your steel defender, Trash Panda, is able to shake off the fear, and you see them begin to growl and hiss at this creature once more.
But yeah, I'm not gonna have him move and try to attack because I need him to.
Right, and they wouldn't be
Basically-
able to this turn anyway. 'Cause the
Yeah.
save comes at the end of the turn.
Oh, right. Okay.
Floof, we
yeah,
are back.
that's everything.
We are back to you.
Okay.
You can now see this creature as the glowing light illuminates the space around it, including it. So you can actually see this creature very clearly now, even in the darkness.
Okay. Would I have noticed / realized that that scream had an effect on maybe Panda at least, like made him fearful and unable to move towards him? Like, would I have
Yeah,
noticed
you
that?
would see the fear, and you would have sensed what this creature was trying to do, but you were able to shake it off.
Okay. Noticing that, and now that I can see the picture, thanks to Trash, I'm gonna. I'm gonna move right up to the
Okay.
spirit.
They are about 10. Dazes, you moved about 15 feet up.
Yeah, I'm at 15 feet.
Okay. Yeah, they're about. They're just outside your reach because they're actually elevated.
Okay.
So But you
That's
could make
fine.
ranged attacks, but your melee would not work because you're not in melee.
I am going to actually cast Warding Wind, which deafens myself and creatures in the area, hoping that if he tries to scream at us again, it won't escape my wind.
Okay.
And since I can't attack it, and I gave Trash all my stones, so I guess that's it for me.
Okay. And Warding Wind, does that have a saving throw, or does it just happen?
It says it just happens, just a strong wind.
Deafens you
10
another
foot
creature
radius
in
of
its
me.
area. Extinguishes unprotected flames on its area. Strong wind, 20 miles around you. And moves with the remaining. Deafens you and other creatures in its area. Good. Okay, so yeah, as long as you were within 10 feet of this creature, it would not be able to scream again.
All right.
Ooh.
Yeah, we are back to Dazes. You are still frightened as this creature pursues you up the riggings of the mast. What would you like to do?
Do we make the saving throw after the turn?
Yes, you just can't move any closer to this creature, and any attacks while you're frightened have disadvantage. But it is offset by the fairy fire, so you could make them a normal roll.
Okay.
So, because the disadvantage and advantage offset each other.
Alright. In that case. Can I just whack it with my stick again?
Yeah, because it is 5 feet below you, so you could definitely swing at it. Okay, show me the staff.
Okay.
Unfortunately, it is you swing wide and you watch it just pass through the shadowy tendrils.
You know, I'm gonna try blurry blows.
Okay.
That's what
19 hits. As you come down, it's not so much a flurry of blows as it is a flurry of kicks as you hold on to the rigging, but you are able to strike center mass of whatever this creature is, aiming directly for the illuminated portions by your companion.
Should I roll damage or roll my second?
Roll your second one and then we'll roll total damage. Yes, a dirty 20 absolutely hits.
Nice, okay.
So go ahead and roll damage for both. 6. Yeah, for 12 damage. 2 swift kicks to the center mass of this creature. Anything else you would like to do?
Okay, here's a question. So, we're doing that with the flurry blows as a bonus action, right?
Yes, your first action was the staff, and then your flurry of blows is your bonus action.
Is there a limit? Can we only have one bonus action per turn?
Yes.
Okay. Alright, that's my turn.
Okay.
I can move closer to it, but I don't want to climb any higher.
Right, it would be a attack of opportunity if you moved away from it.
Yeah, so I'll just...
Okay. You hear this creature hiss at you once more. Liar!
Oh, I guess I should do saving throw.
Oh, yeah. Make your saving throw. Wisdom save. Fortunately, as it hisses up at you, you continue to scramble up the mast away from this creature. You're still afraid. And it is going to take some strikes against you. this renewed vigor as it screams, or it clamors towards you, sensing your fear, giving it sense and purpose and direction. Any creatures that are fearful of it, it attacks at advantage.
Yikes.
Oh boy.
Strike is here.
Ignore that. That was me clicking on something stupid.
Oh,
by the
you're
way.
good. You're good.
Okay.
Uh, 17 to hit.
Not enough.
Okay, the first strike is a miss as it claws up at you. I don't think that one hits either. That one's a 15. It's even lower. You deftly swing back and forth across the rigging. Your experiences climbing up ship's sails coming in handy as you duck out of the way of the two clawing attacks. With that, we are back to you, Trash.
I will use the stones, pebbles, rocks.
Okay. You do have advantage on this attack due to Fairy Fire.
Oh, nice.
As you can clearly see this creature with ease due to the illumination.
Is it just a regular?
It is a ranged attack, and you would add your proficiency bonus and your... It would be a d20, add dexterity, and your proficiency bonus.
Okay.
So
Unless there's something that says otherwise.
the only thing it apparently adds my spellcasting modifier.
Okay.
Not yours. Or
Okay.
hers.
So it would be... What's your wisdom modifier?
+4.
+4, plus your proficiency bonus. So it would be, in this case, a +6, whatever you roll.
Okay, so I rolled horribly the first time, and then second roll was 15, and then
15 just hits.
nice. And so, what is the damage on this? I'm sorry.
It says a 1d6 +4, which I'm guessing is based off my.
Your
Yes.
wisdom.
So roll 1d6 +4.
Okay, so that was a 2, so +4, so 6 damage.
6 damage as you sling the stone up at this creature, again striking center mass due to the fairy fire. This creature is looking cloudy, bloodied. I don't know how you would describe it. Cloudied. Let's go with that. Not really bloodied. It is, mechanically speaking, bloodied.
Okay.
Is there anything else you would like to do, Trash? You do have your unfrightened steel defender once more.
Yes. That was my action. I don't think I have any bonuses. I guess I could move up a little. I mean, I guess he could. Wait, you said that this creature's still like about 10 foot up, like off the ground, right?
Yes,
Or-
it's
or
about
the-
10 foot up above the top, or above the surface of the deck where you are.
Okay, so he wouldn't even really be in attack range of Panda, so I guess.
Right.
Yeah.
You
Okay.
see this shadowy creature pursuing Dazes.
Okay, yeah, I guess there isn't much I can do, even if I move him up, so I guess we'll stay put.
Okay. Floof, we are back to you. You're about, I would say about 7 or 8 feet below where this creature is.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna go after it. I'd like to get as close as I have to for my spear. 'Cause I'm not gonna throw it though, so I'm just gonna.
Right. Is your
Stab him.
spear a 5 5-foot melee or 10-foot melee?
Reach is 5 foot.
Okay.
So I guess I'm kind of maybe doing a weird little climb underneath them to get in range.
Yeah, you could step up on a couple of the ropes and get within range of it. You're attacking with advantage because this creature is fairy fired.
Okay. Doesn't let me right click this to do advantage. I'll just roll it twice and see what it says.
Right, that's fine. We'll take the higher of the two.
Oh, never. I'm lying. I'm hitting,
Don't hit damage. Hit the,
All right,
the
here
attack
we go.
roll. An 18 hits. As you drive the spear up into this glowing core. Go ahead and roll for damage.
Okay. Oh shit.
13, a solid hit as you drive into center mass, doing quite a bit of damage there. This creature screams out once more from the pierce of your spear tip.
That'll do it for me.
All right, Dazes, we are back to you.
I'm gonna keep on swinging.
All right, let's see it. 15 just hits as you swing down and catch the end of the eyes with the tip of your quarterstaff. Go ahead and roll for damage.
Is he still frightened?
Yes. It's a normal roll because of your advantage due to fairy fire.
Ooh.
They offset each other. It's one-handed, correct?
Yeah, one-handed. I'm pretty sure I'm using other hands and not fall.
Right. I would assume that as well. Still a solid blow as the quarterstaff strikes the face of this creature. And you see its form is beginning to loosen and displace as bits of the shadow begin to trail off of it. It is looking quite damaged.
Keep it up then. Go ahead and use another key point.
All right, let's see it. 18 hits. 12 unfortunately misses, but the 18 does hit. 8 damage, yes. Solid. This creature is just barely holding on as it scratches up at you, using every bit of its remaining strength and hold form as it chases after you. Is there anything else you would like to do?
Nope. I will attempt my saving throw again.
Okay.
That'll be it.
See it.
Oh, wisdom again?
Yeah, wisdom.
Oh my lord.
Hey,
afraid not. You were
are in shambles. You're scared as hell.
This is realistic probably with my character.
As the fear and memories still cloud your mind, making it difficult for you to straighten your thoughts. All the fearful, frightening memories of that night you almost perished continue to echo in your mind's eye.
Probably just wailing wildly and screaming.
This creature once more is going to strike up at you with advantage. This is the worst advantage roll ever.
Oh no.
No, he gets a 15 again. No, 14 on that first one. With advantage. I don't think I've rolled above a 16 with advantage. On 4 rolls.
Oh no.
You got me with the pre-advantage one though.
Alright, finally, a 21. Thank God.
That is.
Alright. Jesus. Fucking shit. Rolls a 1 on the damage dice for 4 piercing damage as it's, or slashing damage as it drags its claws against your back. Dude, man. Fuck me. You watch as this creature pursues you with the last breath of its energy. And we are back to you, Trash. You see this creature, the slumps of these shadowy tendrils just falling off, but it seems to continually want to pursue Dazes with all of its
Yeah.
focus.
I still have 2 out of 3 stones, so I guess I'll try to hit it with another one of these.
Okay. Go ahead and roll again. You'll roll a d20 plus 6.
D20 plus
6, because it's
6.
it's Floof's proficiency bonus and his wisdom modifier.
I see. And is it still at advantage?
Yes, it is at advantage because this thing is still fairy fired.
Oh, well, it doesn't matter because I rolled a 1 and a 4.
Oh,
A swing and a miss.
swing and a miss. Well, is there anything else you'd like to do?
I guess noticing that it has it's kind of been very clear who it's trying to target.
Mm-hmm.
I feel a little bit better about being able to concentrate on the spell without needing the active protection panda, so I will send him up just like 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. So he can get there. He may not be within reach to attack him, unfortunately.
Panda's movement's 40, right?
40, yeah.
You could go up, have him climb up 5 feet with your remaining 10 foot on that and get within melee range.
Okay. So it's going to look a little weird, but he is, I guess,
It's hard to
directly
show on
under
roll
him.
20
Yeah,
just
it's
because it's
kinda-
a flat surface.
yeah.
You
but
can put him right
he's-
there and we know.
Yeah, okay.
I'll allow it.
And he will try to hit him with
Okay.
a force empowered rend. Let's try. 8 plus 6, I think 14.
14 just misses. Just misses as as Trash Panda claws up with these shaking, vibrating claws, almost like a one of those what is it called, the oscillating saws. It looks as the claws shake up with this forceful movement, but are just barely out of reach as they claw up through shadowy tendrils, but do not make contact with any solid object. Is there anything else you'd like to do?
That is everything for me.
All right. Floof, we're back to you.
All right, after a pretty successful hit with my spear last time I tried, I will attempt to stab him with my spear.
Okay, you have advantage. This creature is on death's door, what you can perceive as is falling apart above your head. Little bits and pieces of shadow trailing off and vanishing into the darkness.
Okay.
19 hits. Roll for damage. Describe to me how you dispatch this shadowy creature as you...
Yay!
All right. I will. After hitting it with the spear, I could see it starting to dissipate even more. So, seeing that, I'd like to focus on my warding winds, and try to accelerate it even more, and just watch as the spirit is torn and ripped to shreds in my wind until it dissipates into the air.
I love it. I love it. You watch as the spear drives true, driven in by the force of the winds behind it, driving up as you hear another blood-curdling scream echo up into the night sky over the coastal waters. And you watch as the form of this creature slumps down over you all and fades into blackness and darkness. Not a shred of it remaining.
I'd like to yell up to Dazes and say, "It's okay, it's gone."
The fear and echoes of memories in your mind, Dazes, have subsided as the creature has dissipated. But as you're climbing down and looking up, once more, just ever so briefly, you see those feminine, piercing eyes looking down at you from the cloud cover before they vanish once more.
Is there the eyes, the feminine eyes above and the shadow eyes in the creature? Were they the same eyes or different eyes?
Give me an insight check.
Okay.
With an 18, you recognize they are very similar eyes. As if one was transported from the other. And although it's faint, ever so faint, there's a distinct sense of recognition of these eyes. You can't quite place a... It's not so much memory of seeing them before, but like the imprinting of a strong emotion that gives a sense of recognition to these eyes that stared up at you. But never before have you witnessed the anger and hatred that followed behind them, clouding this otherwise sense of recognition.
Yeah, okay.
But as you all are recovering from the trauma of this sudden appearance of this creature, you see Captain Silver come up above deck. One of the crewmen that had been stationed up above in the crow's nest, the goblinoid individual you had come to know as Carlos Dazes, had been calling out to alert, and you heard during this whole calamity the ringing of a bell as people are now beginning to descend to or climb back up to the top deck of the ship. I won't put everybody back on, but I will pull. Let's see. Where is the captain? There we go. You see Captain Silver, not quite fully dressed, but coming up. What's going on here? What was that?
I shrug.
That's a pretty honest answer.
You didn't bring that here aboard the ship, did you?
Not intentionally? I don't think so.
Awful, but that was. Oh, well. What a night. Everyone, do a quick once-over of the ship. I want to make sure none of those are lingering about. You watch as the crew kind of begins searching around frantically, making sure that nothing else has come aboard without their knowledge. But you watch as the fog and cloud cover that kind of snuck in out of nowhere now begins to dissipate, Dazes. You notice that any semblance of stormy weather or lightning has all but disappeared once more. You also notice, at the point where the creature originally appeared, and you would notice this as well, Trash, in your proximity to where you stand, there's not so much a burn mark like you would expect from a lightning strike, but you do see cracks in the wood. not unlike what you've seen from a spell effect, where you see this impact but no signs of other damage, just a forceful strike without some sort of physical implement. But it very much resembles some of the force-based spells that you've seen various spellcasters and even Catherine use in the past, as it has very clearly depressed and even cracked some of these slats in the center of the deck.
Interesting.
Take a closer look at that. I mean, I don't really.
Sure. Give me an Arcana check. Unfortunately, with an 11, it's without proper training and understanding. Are you proficient in Arcana? Yeah, unfortunately. I mean, it looks like something big and heavy and round cracked the deck.
I wasn't there because Floof and I were below, and we heard the sound before we came up, right? So I wouldn't have been able. The origin of this thing, I just saw the creature.
Right.
So I don't know that I could glean a lot from investigating this crack, right? I just kind of noticed that it could be spell-based, but that's it.
Right. Are you proficient in Arcana? I believe you are.
No, actually, I'm not.
Oh, then yeah, you would not know. You're welcome to try, but the DC will be a bit higher.
Mm-hmm.
Give me an Arcana check.
I guess there's no harm. 11 plus 4 is 15.
You're able to glean all that you know is that this is not a physical strike from some sort of object, but something spell-based. That's all you can really tell. Not much more than what I've already shared.
Yeah.
You don't see any residue of this creature. The crew feels with relative certainty after about an hour's worth of searching the ship head to toe that they're confident that there's nothing else aboard the ship. This was an isolated incident. Very well. Everyone return to your posts. You all... I believe your shift is starting soon. Let's see to it we don't have any more incidents during our last day of travel. He rubs his eyes and heads back to bed. As everyone begins to take their posts once more.
Honestly, I think my character might just stay up. My post is coming up in like less than an hour.
Right, and that's what he said. Like, after the search and everything, it's pretty much time for y'all's shift anyway.
Yeah.
Just before daylight. You did get a long rest prior to this fight, but yeah, it is now time for your shift. With that, can I get one more D20 roll from someone, please?
I'm on it.
Would we have heard what that creature was saying?
Not really. Not at your distance. Floof, you might have caught the trail end of the word liar.
Okay.
At your distance, but yeah, Trash, at your distance you wouldn't have heard it at all. You would have just heard the screams from the creature.
Okay.
With a 6, it's a bit rough going. it's a foggy condition, so they do not have the sails at full bore, fully down to avoid any having to make any swift corrections at full speed would be a lot more difficult. But it takes the better part of the remaining day. In addition, you have to stop just before. Let me pull the world map back. World map back. Oh man, I'm just 10 for 10 today. The world map back up here, where you all are, and you all, as you crest around the horn of the continent here, you are roughly here along the coves. Dazes, you would recall this is one of several smuggler locations in these various coves along the dunes that various corsairs, pirates, and smugglers use to offload less than legal goods. Because once you get into the ports of Callista, things are a lot more frantic, and any sort of delay is viewed as a sign of illegality. So any of the illicit products that were brought aboard the Ixion are swiftly removed with your assistance, as well as the children are greeted by a young man, a human man, a well-dressed human man, wearing a blue overcoat and blue trousers. And again, you all see the little silver music note pin on their lapel, a soft sign as a member of the Silver Sonnet, this organization smuggling individuals to and from larger cities who have been wrongfully accused by the Inquisition and the Church for illicit deeds of spellcraft. I was beginning to assume that you all weren't coming, he says to you all. It's a couple days late, but I'm glad to see the children are all right. How is our mutual friend Enrique doing?
Probably dead.
Oh my goodness, what happened?
We were attacked.
Ambushed.
Ambushed by who?
I shrug.
The members of the Inquisition.
Oh no. I will see to it that if they were able to escape or fend them off, that I will reach out as soon as I can. The goddess Mystra, I hope they're safe. You see, he's now turned his attention to those that are still safe and well with them. My name is Charles, children. I will be your escort for the next few days. I'm a friend of Aniela's. She and I grew up together. And at the mention of their, kind of stalwart protector, you see the reservation kind of turn to a bit of acceptance, especially from the older brother. And, well, it's not much, but here's a bit of assistance here to help you all. Thank you for escorting these children. And he hands you a small satchel of 200 gold pieces.
Money.
So of
and
course,
Thank you.
he's wearing the sonnet and just gave us gold and stuff. But do I trust this man? Like,
you can
think
give me an
he's-
insight check.
it's not my best. 13.
He looks legit. As far as you can tell, you can't see anything or gleam anything otherwise that would make you doubt who he says he is. And he name drops Agnella and Enrique. But that's all you're able to glean.
Guess I'll just ask him if he does have news of an update of Agnella and Enrique. If he could, I don't know, somehow find a way to share that information with. That's probably a long shot, but
Of course, of course. What's your name?
Crash.
Of course, yes. If I gain any news, I will be sure to send you a message. Post haste.
Thank you.
But with that, as well as payment to for final delivery to the crew of the Ixion, you watch as they adeptly begin to unload the rowboats and the smaller vessels into the coves. Having done this many times, you can tell. Call to you all aboard, everyone! We're heading out to our final destination! What do you all do?
Are the children leaving us? Are we departing from the children?
Yes, they are intended to accompany Charles, the human man wearing the emblem of the Silver Sonnet.
Okay. I'd like to say goodbye to the children.
They run up and they have a bit of tears in their eyes, and the young girl runs up and hugs at one of your legs, Floof. And the young boy, he holds out his hand to you, and unlike before where you saw the crude creation of the mage hand that the child was essentially inherently trying to create, you see in the palm of his hand the faint image of your rodent form that you showed them in the kitchen, bouncing around and scurrying around across his hand, and it is almost a one-to-one, not entirely corporeal, but a very remarkable replica of this illusionary rodent bouncing around through his hand in the same sort of manner that you showed in the kitchen.
I'll give him a big toothy laugh, smile, and say good job, and then maybe a little misty myself, and as I walk away, I tell Christopher, whoever's taking them,
Charles.
to keep him, or Charles, and tell him to keep him safe, or else.
Of course, of course. Yes, they are being escorted to the northern portion of the Jamila dynasty, where there's members of the offshoot members of the magistrate that are more apt in training young mages who perhaps can't afford formal introduction into the ranks of the Magisterium Arcanum.
Okay, I'll silently give an approving nod and just walk back to the boat.
I'll just tell the children that maybe when our business is concluded, we could come visit you.
The little girl.
I'd love that. I'd love that.
And she kind of holds out her hands. And it's a bit crude, but you notice the sparks begin to jet out from her palms as she wants to show you the grandest send-off she can give you.
Good to see you again.
And then she tries to, as the sparks kind of dissipate, she runs up to hug you, kind of sinking into your plasmoid form a little bit.
Yeah.
But with that, your goodbyes said to the young children, your final leg of your journey to the capital city of Callista, the Jamila dynasty, as you reboard the Ixion for your final few hours, dragging out late into the afternoon, you arrive. As you come around the cove, you begin to see the grandeur that is the Jamila dynasty. Large, gold-crusted, domed towers jet up from the horizon, and despite the arid dunes on all sides, just off the coast, almost in defiance of the arid wasteland on the east and western sides of this city skyline, it is lush and jungle-like directly surrounding the city. As you come upon the first sight of Callista, the capital city of the Jamila dynasty, we'll go ahead and show you some artwork.
Ooh.
You see large jungle flora of all kinds, book-ending waterfalls, and beautiful dome structures of jade and gold and other precious metals shining against the fading afternoon light high above in the sky. The water surrounding the city almost like a mirror, bouncing back these lights and these reflections back and forth to the city. Even at this distance, you can see the hustle and bustle that Mirstadt was a busy port town for the western half of the continent. This undoubtedly is by far the busiest port of call in the eastern edge of the continent. As you see ships of all kinds stacked up in rows attempting to enter the city. And that's what we're in for tonight. As you all enter the capital city of Callista.